The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, my name is Amay Dev. I will be presenting you this session. First and foremost, let me take this opportunity to thank you all for taking time to join this webinar. Hope you find it some insightful. In this webinar, I will introduce you to our visualization apps and further guide you towards the overall functionalities and behavior of the same, which could potentially add some value to your business, I believe. So before we start off, a few things here. All the lines are muted for now. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat window. And at the end of this webinar session, I would be more than happy to have a quick Q&A session with you all. Now, let me begin with giving you an overview of our organization. Inogic is one of the leading organizations who builds the productive ISV add-ons on MS Dynamics platform. We are primarily focused on designing and delivering the optimum quality products that can best fit in and fulfill the requirements of customers running their businesses across various domains in today's competitive market. Inogic is highly globally recognized for its finest quality and low cost offshore development services as well as the productivity apps. As you can see on the right hand side of the screen, Inogic has a portfolio of about 16 products altogether. From this 16, Mapletics is a flagship product, market-leading certified geoanalytical mapping application that really empowers CRM users with a geographical data visualization. In addition to this, on the other side, SharePoint Security Sync is a comprehensive solution that integrates Microsoft Dynamics 365 with SharePoint for document management, along with an ability to sync the security privileges from Dynamics 365 CRM to SharePoint to ensure a secure and reliable access to the confidential information and the data, along with the documents stored in the SharePoint. Moreover, InnoLink, User Adoption Monitor, attached to Dynamics, Alerts for Dynamics, Click to Clone, Gamifix 365, and Business Process Checklist are some of the rest of the applications offered by us. In this webinar session, we will look through two of our visualization apps that are Kanban board and Map My Relationships. Now, let me quickly set up the agenda, which is how we will flow through this overall webinar session. We will begin with having a look at impact of visualization, where we will cover the significance of the better visualization for the business. Then I will move on to talk about one of our visualization apps, that is Kanban board, explaining what all it has got to offer in terms of its well-structured features to help improve the overall visualization of the data in a very beneficial manner. Further to this, we will see the tool in action, giving you the glimpses over what it overall looks like. Moving on, we will dive into another visualization app offered by us, that is Map My Relationships. And from there, we will proceed to have a look at its features along with a live demonstration of the tool. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm more than happy to take up the questions at the end of this session. Feel free to post your questions into the chat. Now, why do we need to have a better visualization? Well, it is highly likely to help make decisions extremely faster than the market peers. With having an optimum quality visualization, it really can help prevent the business meetings from running longer, where managers and the senior ones within the organization can spot the data that they are actually looking for in much easier and a quicker way. Don't you think this can efficiently raise the visibility and overall flexibility around the business expansion? It indeed can. So this is exactly where our Kanban board app comes into the picture, that provides you an ability to swiftly enable the card-based Kanban view for CRM data. Moving on, let's have a look at the features of Kanban board. It lets you visualize any view in the form of lanes and rows. drag and drop gives you an ability to move a card from one lane to the other with a simple drag and drop action. Along with this, it also supports the business process flow, where it allows you to organize the cards based upon the multiple stages and various milestones within the business flow. Besides this, it is very much possible to enable quick actions or activities like email, task, appointment, etc. against the record from within the card itself, so that users don't necessarily have to separately navigate to different page to add the activities, which can again eventually save multiple clicks and get it done in the quickest time possible. Moreover, you can also design the board to group the records within the lane to further categorize the information for rich visualization. In addition, you can choose what details or the fields to be displayed on these Kanban compact cards based on your own business needs. You can also search or look through any record across the whole Kanban board as quickly as possible. And Kanban board also honors the native CRM behavior around performing any action from the options on the ribbon bar. This is as simple as selecting a card and perform an action of user's choice. For example, assigning the record, changing the owner of the records, etc. It also has a provision to sort the cards based on the various fields of users' own preferences. Further, you can also enable the aggregation with the help of aggregate field values of the records on lanes and row headers, including opportunity estimated revenue, opportunity actual revenue, budget amount, and so on. Last but not the least, it also has an ability to keep refreshing with the set interval. So the Kanban board can also be configured to auto refresh with set intervals so that any updates made will automatically reflect on the board without any sort of manual intervention. Now, let's see the tool in action. So I'll quickly switch to my CRM screen so that I can walk you all through the quick demonstration of the tool and show you what it all overall looks like. So here, I'm currently standing on all opportunities view. So as you can see, the data is presented in the Kanban board in the form of lanes and rows. Now, it has an ability to simply pick one card, in other words, drag the card and drop it on the other lane in just simple one click. Over here, you will also notice that there's a business process flow. So if I switch from default board view to the business process flow, it looks something like this, where qualify, propose, contract, close, these are nothing but the stages that are involved in the opportunities. So just like earlier, you can simply drag this card and put it over here. Now let me switch back to the default board. So on the bottom of the card, you will notice that these are the actions. So if you want to create an email or phone call or any task against these records, you can simply do that straight from within the card itself, so that you don't have to go separately on the activities, or you don't have to open up this record and create any activity from the timeline over there. Now, just like for the opportunities, I have also configured the Kanban board for the cases. So this is what I was talking about when it comes to row grouping of the Kanban board. So if I collapse this, you will see there are phone, emails, web, and Facebook, and so on. So I'm basically grouping the records based on the origin of the case records. So being a salesperson, what I want to know is which case has come from which origin. So there are 4 case records that have come from the phone inquiry. Similarly, there are 4 cases that have come for the inquiry via email and via web. So just like this, you can also group the records on your Kanban board, which can surely help you improve the overall look and feel of the Kanban board. So this is not where it ends. You can also search or look through any record across this whole Kanban board. Now, as I said earlier, we honor the native CRM behavior. So you can simply select one card and assign this particular record to any other record in your CRM, which is exactly what we are honoring the default functionality of the CRM. Now, let me go back to opportunities. So over here, you will see the sorting option to sort the records in either ascending or the descending manner. You can actually sort these records in ascending or descending with the help of the other fields as well. So these are nothing but what you have configured for your Kanban tool. These are definitely configurable based on your own customization or own business needs. Moreover, it also helps you enable the aggregation for the opportunities. So being a salesperson, what I want to know is what is the estimated revenue summation of all the records that belong to this particular lane. And just like estimated revenue, you can also enable the other calculated fields and put it on the Kanban board. Eventually, any updates made to these records in your system will be automatically reflected on the Kanban board as Kanban board keeps refreshing with the set interval of time, so that user doesn't have to manually refresh the entire board in order to see the updates. That, in my opinion, really adds some value to the overall abilities and the potential stuff of the tool. Now, let me switch back to my presentation and I'll guide you towards the other visualization app, that is Map My Relationships. So jumping next, here is another visualization tool that is offered by us, as I mentioned earlier, that is Map My Relationships, which is a real powerful app that provides you a mind map visualization of the data, along with it numerous relationships and connections present in the CRM system. So similar to Kanban, let's have a glance through the key features of Map My Relationships. It presents you the overall 360 degrees view of the data that you actually wish to see in the map. You can also perform any quick activities like creating an email, appointment task, etc. straight from within the relationship map itself. Along with this, you can also create an associated record just in a single click through a node. Similar to Map My Relationship control, we do have another control that is specially dedicated and designed to show, create, and delete the connections of the records in both grid as well as the relationship view. Our tool supports the visualization of one-to-many, many-to-many, and many-to-one relationships. In addition, it allows you to drill n level down through the relationships to be able to see the respective associated records of one entity under another entity. You can also enable the grouping and aggregation functionality for your map my relationship so that you can show the aggregated values without having to separately create any sort of roll-up fields. Eventually, it also has a provision to indicate the connection roles through color legends on the connection control to easily understand which records are connected with which connection roles. To sum up the things, let's see the tool in action. I'll again quickly go back to my CRM screen. So I'm currently standing on AdventureWorks account record. So this is what the relationship view looks like. Let me quickly expand this view to be able to see it in the full screen. Now, let's consider a use case where a user wants to be able to see the connections of these contacts and further drill those connection records and again see its associated connection records. We will see how we can potentially visualize this sort of scenario in the relationship map. Now, I have this AdventureWorks and its associated contacts. So there are currently 4 contacts. So if I further open this, it's gonna pop up these 2 nodes. So at the moment, there are 2 male contacts and 2 female contacts. So this is nothing but the grouping of the records for the better visualization of the data in your system. Now, based on our use case, what I want to do is I want to be able to see the connection records of one of these contacts. So I'm going to expand the female contacts. Now, let me quickly further expand this particular contact. So it has 6 connections altogether. And let's consider that I want to be able to see the connections of any of these connection records as well. So I'm going to further double click on this contact connection record and see what happens. Excellent. So it does the magic on its own. So it again has further 6 connections. So if I open them all, it's going to present me all the connection records. So if you notice carefully, what I have done over here is I have come all the way from AdventureWorks account record. I kept drilling the relationships down through n levels, and at the end I have reached these particular connections records of this contact connection record. So this is nothing but the child configuration ability that is incorporated in our solution. Now, let me just collapse this. Over here, I have the deals. Deals are nothing but the opportunities currently present in the system. Now, if I further open the deals, there are currently 3 opportunities that are in progress and 2 are on hold. So what if I want to see what these opportunities are worth of the estimated revenue? So basically, if I hover over on this group node, it shows me the estimated revenue summation. So there are currently 3 opportunities in progress with total worth of rupees dollar estimated revenue sum. So if I open this, These are the three opportunities. Again, if you wish to see the codes of associated codes of these opportunities, you can simply have that particular relationship configured as a part of the overall configuration for your map my relationship. Now, you can also perform quick action on the record itself. So what I mean by that is, if I click on this adventure works, it shows me these three options. These are nothing but the activities. So I can simply create email task or appointment or any sort of other activities depending upon my own use case straight from within the relationship view itself, so that I don't have to separately navigate to the other entities, including activities or any other account, to create any sort of such actions. Moreover, you can also create the associated record from here itself. So any newly created record, contact record, which that will be associated to this adventure works straight away. Also, you can change the views from here. So the records that belong to the selected view will be displayed on this map. So we also have a provision to see the data in tabular format. So which looks something like this. So if you wish to see the data in the format of notes, or if you want to see the data in tabular format, both the things can be achieved. Let me close this off and switch to the connection control that I have configured for this account record. So as I explained earlier in the webinar, this control is specially designed to work with the connections, where you can actually play around creating, editing, or deleting the connection records in grid as well as the relationship view. So the current view is the grid view. So if I switch to the relationship view, so this is what it looks like. Now you may wonder what's the difference between the connection control and the relationship control. So for that, if I expand the connections, on the right hand side of this view, the color legends appear, which clearly tells me which of the records are connected to adventure works with which of the connections. So if I hover over on this edge, you will see the connection role that this particular record is connected with the adventure works. Now, let me close this off and switch back to my presentation. So what about the support availability? So our tools are supported for Dynamics 365 Online, Dynamics On-Premise version 9.1 SP1 and onwards, and Dataverse as well. So on this screen, you will see there are some of the FAQs that are asked by most of the users. So let me go through these one by one. Is there any limit to viewing the relationships between records? No, there is no restriction on this. You can configure and see as many relationships as you want. Are Kanban board and MapMy relationships compatible across devices? Absolutely, they are. They work extremely smooth across various devices, phones, tabs, desktop, laptop, etc. The next one, is it possible to view details of the records in the relationship map? Of course it is. You can see the details of the records. This can be viewed upon hovering over the record node as seen in the demonstration earlier. The fourth one, what Microsoft Dynamics products do you support? So we do support Dynamics 365 Online and onwards and Dataverse as well. So is it possible to switch to a normal grid view once Kanban mode is installed? Yes, it's certainly possible. You can definitely switch back to the regular view if you wish to upon having Kanban already installed in your system. So let me proceed. So as I said in the beginning of this webinar session, please feel free to put your questions in the chat so that I would be certainly happy to take those. So we have a quick question from one of the attendees. Can Kanban board be configured for the custom entities? Of course, you can definitely configure the Kanban board for custom entities as well as the OOB CRM entities. Well, there is another question that just popped up on the screen. Is it possible to set up both the controls, map my relationship and map my connection for single entity at the same time? Yes, it is. It is certainly possible. As I demonstrated you all in the earlier session, you can simply configure both these controls for any of the entity forms at the same time. We will wait for a couple more minutes for any questions and then we'll go from there. All right, let me quickly move on to the next slide. So what I'm going to do now is I'm launching a poll with two questions and you can simply put your responses for those poll questions. So poll is open now. Which feature did you like the most about the Kanban? Excellent. We will wait for a few more seconds to collect the responses. Fantastic. Let me open up the other question in the poll. So which feature did you like the most about My Relationships? So we have pretty good responses over here. We'll wait for one more minute to collect any responses. Superb. Now, so what happens next? So you can learn more about Kanban board and Map My Relationships today. Uh, well, if you wish to try out our solutions, you can simply quickly download them from our website Inogic or from Microsoft AppSource as well. And while evaluating the tool, if you have any sort of questions or queries, you can definitely feel free to reach out to us on crm@inogic.com. We would we would be more than happy to take up the questions and get back to you with the respective response. I would like to thank you all for taking time to join this webinar. It's highly appreciated. Have a great day ahead. Cheers. Bye. Thank you.